Welcome to this YouTube channel, K-Leaders. I'm Francis Chan. Merger of companies are a common element of a restructuring plan, and I would like to share with you the topic of merger at this episode. To merge Hong Kong companies, you can choose the traditional way, which is to transfer business assets and then dispose of the unnecessary companies. For mega-size merger, you can opt to seek court approval. For banks, they also can consider having private ordinance to implement their merger plans. Effective the 3rd of March 2014, when the new companies ordinance come into effect, a new piece of legislation also enacted, and it's called the court-free amalgamation. There are important conditions attached to amalgamation. Every companies under amalgamation, we call it amalgamating companies, must be Hong Kong companies limited by shares, and they must be wholly owned within the same group. These companies must be solvent, means that these companies are able to pay all debts in full. If any amalgamating companies has created a floating charge, each person entitled to that security must give written consent to the amalgamation proposal. In this example, we have Hongkong holding subsidiary 1 and subsidiary 2. If these two subsidiaries merge together, we call it a horizontal amalgamation. If Hongkong is merging with subsidiary 1, it is a vertical amalgamation. In this example, we have 3 Hong Kong companies. Hong Kong Company 2 and 3, if they amalgamate, it will be a vertical amalgamation, and the surviving entity will be the Hong Kong Company 2. If Hong Kong Company 1 is to amalgamate with Company 2 or 3, it is called horizontal amalgamation. The 3 Hong Kong companies can also opt to amalgamate all together in one go. The advantage of amalgamation is once the amalgamation takes into effect, the surviving entity, we call it amalgamated company, automatically succeeds to all properties, rights and privileges, and at the same time, liabilities and obligations of each amalgamating company. This looks simpler and cheaper when compared with the traditional option of transfer of business. And when the amalgamating company owned any properties in Hong Kong and shares in Hong Kong, then the transfer of these Hong Kong shares and property will not attract any Hong Kong stamp duty. The disadvantage of this option is those companies entitled to amalgamation will only be those Hong Kong companies limited by shares. So those companies limited by guarantee will not be entitled under this option. Amalgamation may not be recognized under foreign law. Amalgamation may trigger events of default if the contracts do contain provision prohibiting amalgamation. And most importantly, those directors who sign on the solvency statement will expose to personal liability if they do not sign that statement in good faith with reasonable ground. The solvency statement is an important document in support of the application for amalgamation. Amalgamation looks simpler and cheaper, but it may not necessarily always be a preferred option. I would suggest you to contact your company secretary, your tax advisor, and accountant to confirm the position before you go ahead with amalgamation. This is the end of this episode. In the next episode, I will share with you the other restructuring plan. So please stay with us and see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe and share with your friends. Look forward to your continued support. See you next time. Bye-bye.